the worst colon I've seen in 40 years practicing medicine. That's what my GI doctor told me after my last colonoscopy. Just a year before that, I was symptom and medicine free for over a year. Just a few years before that, my brain was offline. I couldn't get out of bed. I was close to disability. And I'll never forget the vaccine injury attorneys talking to me. His mouth was moving. I presume words were coming out. I just couldn't understand anything. My teacher is now Crohn's, and I'm here in advocacy and support and as a voice for the 10 million living with IBD around the world. That number doubled just a few short years ago. Children being diagnosed with aggressive cases faster and more than ever before. Many are suffering in silence. Their best friend doesn't even know, but yet they're sprinting, running to the bathroom 10, 20, 30, 40 times a day. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they wear diapers just to go to the park and play with their daughter. Many being bullied into surgery. Surgery is life-saving, but I believe offered and suggested way too soon. Myself in the hospital in a very vulnerable, compromised state just a few miles from here. I was told, Joel, your colon is sick, it needs to come out. Yet here I stand before you. I've never had surgery. 70% of those with Crohn's do require surgery or elect for it. Once you have one, your chances of needing additional increase. Women with ulcerative colitis, 1/3 post-surgery, 1/3 fertility rate less than normal. So this is obviously a very big problem. And I'm blessed to have many of you have helped me on my personal journey and have helped the One Great Gut movement. I hosted the Crohn's and Colitis Summit in 2017. 92% of those who showed up really enjoyed it and loved my unique interview style, but yet 98% of those with IBD don't know who the heck I am. So the question I keep asking myself is, how can I bring your medicine, how can I bring functional medicine to the global IBD community? Affordably. So why affordably? Because with IBD, the studies show that patient care and patient cost is 3x that of other conditions of normal, and work-related job losses is 3x that of normal. I believe healthcare has become an instrument of fear. How can we create an instrument of love in healthcare? The current IBD leading organizations, they believe what you and I are doing is snake oil, is quackery. So it's the system that has really failed us. They fail to deliver unbiased, evidence-based solutions that are viable for the long term. The One Great Gut community, everyone in my community are using curative solutions. Many are pharmaceuticals, many are not, and that's okay. We view it as a bridge. And everyone is following what I call the One Great Gut diet, which is not just about food and what goes in your mouth. We do create super poopers. It's actually a real thing. It's someone who has fabulous feces. They're the ideal donor for fecal transplant, which arguably is the world's best probiotic. So with One Great Gut, I'm bootstrapping using my credit cards. It's going great. I finally have gotten my ego out of the way and will be seeking investor and learning that fun world. I'm an investor myself in other companies. We're rebranding. A real fun and cool look is coming. We're going decentralized, so think of something like Wikipedia, Craigslist, something like that. We have our own ecosystem coming, which is web-based and mobile-based, gamified tracking, habit tracking, gamified training, vetted, accredited faculty, hint, hint. AI is built in, blockchain, maybe crypto, and this is my public benefit corporation, and it's all paired with a nonprofit that I have, which has a really cool initiative and is gaining a lot of momentum. So why am I doing all this? Obviously, my personal story is part of this, but it's apparent to me that working with a provider one-on-one, or even with 3 or 4 providers, is just not sufficient. Managing IBD is a full-time job, and I believe that there's one cure, and that cure is community. Community is the cure. And I believe One Great Gut is that cure for those struggling with IBD, or living, maybe not struggling. I'm very big into language. So who here is inspired to disrupt the IBD industry with me, to save organs, to save lives? Please reach out to me. I would love to chat with you afterwards. Now, just for a moment, imagine a world where there's no shame around this bathroom disease. Imagine a world where everyone with IBD can afford your loving medicine. And now imagine a world where IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, is flushed away forever.